Not only do I think Kobbie Mainoo should go, I think he should probably start.
The thing is, it's just... Can we have a manager who understands how to play creative fullbacks instead of having to be like Gary Neville's?
Surely you just want to go and play with Bellingham and Kane and surely just be fun, wouldn't it? What's happening, everyone, and welcome to 888 Sport. On this episode of the playlist, we're going to be ranking the players that Gareth Southgate simply must take to the Euros. Helping me go through this today is none other than the wonderful Turkish Mr. Paul Machin and none other than esteemed company Steve McInerney. Gents, should we get straight into this? Please rank Cole Palmer, Kobbie Mainoo, Ivan Toney, Anthony Gordon, Curtis Jones, and that traitorous Ben White. Right. Let's go with it. And just before we reveal, will you please do us a favour? Please click subscribe right now. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and it would be an honour to welcome you into this community. Thank you very much. Happy? Mm-hmm. Right, please reveal in 3, 2, 1. Interesting. Let's see, you'll see. Steve, my number one is off of your list. That shows you football, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's not even because he's not brilliant either. He is. It's just he's 18 and I don't know we need him. It's quite as simple as that, really.
I've gone exactly the opposite way. I feel like Cole Palmer, I think you're right in terms of deserving it. His performances have been unbelievable. It's just that he plays in a position where England are well stocked. So I think he should go, but I don't think he has to go. I don't think we desperately need him because he probably doesn't start. Not only do I think Kobbie Mainoo should go, I think he should probably start.
The thing is, he's just had no experience at the highest level. That's the only thing I would say. And how many games has he played for United?
24.
24 games.
I had a look at this weirdly. It's 24 games he's played. When Jude Bellingham was, when Gareth Southgate was speaking about Mainoo, because he put him with the under-21s, I thought it was slightly hypocritical from Southgate because he said he hasn't played enough football. He said he's not experienced enough. And then I had a look. Both Jude Bellingham and Bukayo Saka got their caps off the back of only about 10, 15 games more. And bearing in mind, Jude Bellingham's caps, 44 of them were for Birmingham and 10 of them were for Dortmund. And he got an opportunity then. Southgate. 25 games for Manchester United.
Rubbish,
25 games for Manchester United. I think it's significant.
We've heard Southgate say, I need players playing in the first team. Harry Maguire's coming. So he's...
something about playing out of position for Phil Foden. Remember, playing out of position. You can't play out of position.
He's full of that. But you know what? You're right.
It doesn't make sense, does he, Southgate?
With the whole starting thing, I don't know if any of these players start, but I look at Palmer and Mainoo together and I think that if England needed a wild card off the bench in a midfield position, Mainoo would be the one. If they needed a wild card off the bench in an attacking position, Palmer could be one. So I'm looking at it more from who can make an impact if things are not going well with
who
the
do you
first
think starts?
What you're going to say, right?
But midfield is Rice, Bellingham, Foden.
That's impossible, Turkish.
That's what they've got to go for. Southgate's not going to do it because he's pragmatic at the best of times. But really and truly, they need to play to England's strengths. And England's strengths lie in midfield and into the attack. England's strengths don't lie defensively. Yes, defensively in tournaments they've done well recently, but that's because all emphasis is on being a defensive unit rather than...
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Apart from it should just be Trent in midfield.
Would that be your answer for the problem? Because I think there's only 3 problems with the whole England side, isn't there? Arguably a goalkeeping issue, arguably a centre half, and then this midfield. Do you think it could be Trent Alexander-Arnold there?
I think it will be, yeah. Because Foden can play in the front 3. I think Foden will play.
But that's where I think Trent, if he inverts, it allows Foden to become the extra man in the front 3.
True, but also it's Gareth Southgate, and I've been doing this for years.
Saying,
can we have a manager who understands how to play creative fullbacks instead of having to be like Gary Neville's? He doesn't do that. So I'm just thinking he's used Trent in midfield, hasn't he, in the last year or so?
Yeah, it was only against Malta. Like people say, it was a good performance from Alexander-Arnold. It certainly was, but it was Malta.
Yeah.
We're going to go and play Spain, France, Germany. Is Trent Alexander-Arnold the man for that job alongside Bellingham and Rice?
Look, if he wants pragmatism, playing someone who's played his entire career at fullback in midfield sounds like the kind of pragmatism, but it's mad because you're also getting someone who'll get double figures assists every season in there as well. So it might be like the perfect solution for the Trent Alexander-Arnold thing. But look, I went by top 3. I think there's a lot of agreement broadly on those, because I agree with all these notions. England have got loads of really good players, and I don't think Mainoo's going to start for England. I don't think Palmer will start. I don't think Curtis Jones would start. But if we're talking about players this is the conversation we have before every major tournament, and it's form over favourites.
Yep.
And I think all three of them, if they continue the form that they've had this season, deserved the reward almost of being called up for England. And the only reason Anthony Gordon's not in there is because he's a blue nose. So I have to put my own personal biases in this, of course. Yeah, so he's right down the bottom. Well, yeah, to be fair, there is Ben White. He just doesn't want to, does he? He just doesn't want to play for England.
That's why he's not on my list. He doesn't want to go. Southgate doesn't want him, and I don't care too much about it either.
Lack of sunbeds for him.
I'd rather him chill out. I'd rather him not be clouded by any media pressure off the back of another tournament where England don't do what people expect.
Do you know what? Just to explain, so I said Mainoo. Do you think it's wild for me to say that I think Mainoo should start? Like Mainoo alongside Rice, Bellingham.
Yeah, that's balmy.
Do you think, really?
Yeah.
Like, do you not like the idea of, would it not have been balmy to say, throw Michael Owen in 1998 or Wayne Rooney in 2004 when he scored those 2 goals against Croatia? Would that not have sounded balmy at the time?
He didn't start in France 98, did he? You know what I mean? It's only the Romania game where he starts to be sort of drip fed in, and then Argentina when he gets the chance to really shine. So Owen gets in the squad, but then actually earns the right to be on the pitch as that tournament progresses. He doesn't come straight into the
My
side.
sort of issue with Mainoo is that you look at his performances, they've been great, but you're looking at about 30, 40 touches a game. When you're looking at the true elite midfielders, people like Rodri or whatever, they're getting over 100 touches a game. Like the level and the expectation compared to United, what you'd hope it would be for England in the latter stage of the tournament.
And look,
totally
the big question
it's totally different.
Is he really up to Jordan Henderson's level? That's what we've got.
Well, there we
we've
go,
got to be perfectly clear on this.
Superstar.
And for a few years now, we've been asking to see, a different midfield without a Henderson in there because of, age and whatnot. Just as we're about to see that different midfield, there's no point chucking in a curveball.
Okay, just for simply this then. Do England not need him? I know what you're saying about Phil Foden, and I think it's quite a noble suggestion, right? It's a progressive, exciting suggestion. But you know how you think my Mainoo shout is mad? Your Foden shout feels mad to me just because we know that our vulnerability is centre-half, the other centre-half alongside Stones. There needs to be someone that's responsibility is going to be to protect that. We'll get torn apart.
Have you seen Rice? Arsenal are one of the best controlling sides one of the 2 best controlling sides in England now. And Rice is a big part.
But Rice is no longer a defensive midfielder by any definition.
Rice can do both. We've seen him 8, we've seen him 6 in the same 90 minutes.
But
he is
Declan Rice these days not just like an archetypal box-to-box midfielder?
No.
Reminds me of Fernandinho.
We've seen him.
Scoring.
We've seen him sit. We've seen him do box-to-box. We've seen him, in multiple different positions.
If we asked him to sit, is that not incredibly negative, considering the skill and brilliance of Declan Rice? If we were to say to him, don't deploy all of your assets, sit. Surely we want Declan Rice doing what he can do, Jude Bellingham doing what he can do, and someone, if not Kobbie, Mainoo, who? Someone sitting.
Name me the better destroyers in world football than Rice from any country. There's few, if that.
He's elite, isn't he? He's an elite 6, and I think he's a very, very good box-to-box midfielder, but I think he's a 6 ultimately, and because he's got the ability to change it, he's not an archetypal destroyer. He's not an anchor man. He's not a Makelele. He's not just there to break things up. He's a 6+, which actually gives England more options. If you want to unleash him in a game, then that's something. You're playing against the park bus, and then all of a sudden your 6 just decides to go on a 30-yard run with the ball. It breaks things up. Gives you fresh opportunities. So I think he's good enough to do both. Again, the Foden's so good you can play him anywhere. But I do think that I think I would play Foden in the front 3, to be honest.
Do you know what's interesting here, Steve? You've got Ben White 3rd. Do you think Southgate then should be trying to resurrect the relationship, trying to...
I sort of don't care, but I also acknowledge that he's a really good footballer. He's been a big part of Arsenal's brilliance, and you can't ignore the guy starting every week. He was English, playing for Arsenal, and one of the best, probably the best defensive team in the league right now. I think there's an element of, I think I've witnessed first time in Kyle Walker getting a little bit older. He is moving on. There's always, a space going to appear in the English squad at some point. And I think if he can sort of fix that a little bit, I can't see it being anything other than beneficial. And he's just a really good player. He's a quality
centre
footballer.
Half as well.
Exactly, yeah. Right centre back alongside Stones.
For me, he's England's second best right back. No disrespect to Walker, but Walker's been on the decline for 18 months now.
Who are you saying is the first? Alexander-Arnold?
I mean, last season he was missing for the majority. He came, stepped up at the end, similar to what Stones did. But even last season, he missed out on the majority of the league. He didn't play enough games. Walker's a legend.
Most of them.
For me, the best right back of Premier League era, for sure.
Yeah.
So this ain't no disrespect. But I think when you look at Ben White, he started his career at Arsenal centre-back. He moved on to right back and a traditional overlapping right back. This season he inverts. This calendar year he's been inverted into midfield. He can do every role asked of him in that right back position.
Do you think you could play centre half with Stones?
Of course he can. He's done it with Gabriel.
Such a shame. Such a shame. I just can't believe that this can't be. Yeah. You know, it's like not only like say you look at his reasoning. Say he's not even like patriotic, like he doesn't care about the country, whatever.
It's wild.
Surely you just want to go and play with Bellingham and Kane and surely just like be fun, wouldn't it? Like it'd be fun. It's all Germany. It'd be great.
He doesn't seem to care.
He doesn't seem to care.
He doesn't seem. And all I care about is when you step on that pitch, you give 100.
Is he one of those players who doesn't like football?
Yeah, he did say that. He's one of those.
Maybe he's just watching it. Yeah, he just gets to the end of the season.
Don't you just hate him? Don't you just hate him?
Break, thanks,
I'm rich, multi-millionaire, gonna win loads of stuff, and I don't even like football.
He just
don't want to play
be
for
good
England.
Yeah.
Like an accountant.
Ben White.
Do you not love accountancy? You don't love being an accountant. You don't want to just come in on your holidays
side
instead.
hustle. Doing people's accounts for diem, you know what I mean?
So many Excel spreadsheets you could be doing here in your summer holidays.
Paul, do you reckon Curtis Jones? Because I just think that there is, as much as I love the idea of Foden, and if I were picking a team, I'd probably pick Foden because I think it's great. Practically, I don't think it's going to happen. Somebody else is going to play it. And I don't know if it's going to be Henderson. I don't know if it's going to be Conor Gallagher. Is it potentially Jones?
I think he's better than Conor Gallagher. I think that's
great. It's great.
Yeah, Curtis Jones is just... he just knits everything together and actually scores goals as well, which I think is really important. You know, the kid started as a left winger and has been brought deeper and deeper. And actually the way football's moved on in the last 18 months or so, all of a sudden he was being asked to do like what Gini Wijnaldum was doing for Liverpool, which was, again, just play it simple, be strong, recycle possession. And now that it's changed and now he's allowed to do a little bit more. He's allowed to get forward and support the attack. And he's got all that stuff that he's learned from Wijnaldum. He can play a bit of 6-4 as well. But he's so good on the ball. Yeah. He doesn't. We have a bit of a saying about him. It's like Curtis Jones doesn't lose the ball ever. Sometimes he lingers on it a bit too much, but you can't get the ball off him. You can put three guys around him. He just doesn't lose possession. And to your point on that, just that he's a bit more. I don't want to down with faint praise of like saying he's a bit steady. He'll be steady.
Yeah, but no, that's a huge compliment in tournament football. Huge compliment. Yeah,
and he's more experienced than Mainoo. To me, it was Mainoo or Jones. I know the slightly different takes on the role, but to me, he's much more experienced. He's been around success, and pressure at Liverpool for a long time now. So I think he deserves his flowers.
The other one actually, and I think Elliott's in a similar boat, but Elliott's skill set is so well covered by so many others,
which is like a bit like Palmer.
Yeah, but these were the two of the stars of England under-21s last summer. So there is just something in that of going to an international tournament.
Talking of that, Anthony Gordon was player of that tournament.
Yeah, starring and then getting the opportunity to step up. Yeah, and if only he hadn't played for Everton, I'd agree with you.
Love it. I absolutely love it, Paul. The pettiness on display in the rivalry, I truly do adore it. If we sort of discount Paul's take on this just because he played for Everton,
it's absolutely fair. By the way,
it's kind of we seem to be all pretty unanimous that Anthony Gordon should be going.
Just because of the question marks around that position, Rashford.
You can play who would you play?
Who would you play in that position? So the front three, two of the positions I think are set in stone. Harry Kane obviously starts through the middle. Bukayo Saka obviously starts on the other side. So there is one position over on the left. Who's going to start? The options are what? Jack Grealish, Marcus Rashford,
Sterling.
I don't think that's an option anymore.
Oh yeah.
But okay, Sterling to be discounted very quickly.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't really think of anyone else apart from Gordon now.
It's a tough one. A year ago,
a year ago it's Grealish.
Yeah, it would be easily saying Grealish. A year before that, it'd be easy Rashford. But
the year before that, it'd be easy Sterling.
Let's see how the next month.
All three of
Sterling had it 5 years, didn't he?
Yeah. It's hard to say who should pin it down. I mean, if we're going on this season, then I think Anthony Gordon's got a very, very good shout to start the tournament. If we're basing it off form and how the season has panned out.
Do you think it should be Gordon? I don't think it's so difficult, isn't it? Because what the England team lacks is pace. The one attribute that we don't really have is somebody that is like cutting with pace.
Yeah.
Rashford has it. Gordon has it.
Yeah.
Grealish doesn't have it, but Grealish is a treble winner. Who would you pick if you were picking the team front three?
I'd lean more towards a a Gordon Rashford type. Reason being because Saka on the other side is a completely different type of winger where he'd like to cut in a bit more, whereas the other two are more direct off the shoulder.
It's nice to have someone that can just burn a defence as well. Gives you an outball, doesn't it?
I'd lean towards Gordon because I think based off of this season alone, he deserves it. But, we've seen Rashford do well. We've seen Grealish do well. So I wouldn't be surprised
This
if
is very
Southgate
awkward
goes
for you
with
now,
his
the buyers, because
option.
I'm basically putting you on the spot where you have to give me a City player, an Everton player, a former Everton player,
And a former
or a Manchester United player.
And even a former Liverpool player in Sterling, I'd still go Sterling. I would, And,
Really?
Yeah. And again, goes back to top level experience. I think you're right, Gordon's got an X factor, and you always like that idea of a bit of an unknown and somebody's got the pace to burn, certainly. Sterling, I know he's not flavour of the month at the moment, but it still astounds me when people go, "Oh, Sterling missed that chance." Yeah, he does.
That's what he does.
I think it's a bit ridiculous as well, the reaction to it.
But he's got that. He's been there. He's done it. He's still a fantastic footballer. He can still take a man. What he does and what he did brilliantly at Man City, it was that ability to just arrive at the right place at the right time, back stick, and just stick the ball in the back of the net. And if he's just that, if he's just a bits and pieces player around the box, feeding off Harry Kane, or the hard work that's being done by Saka over the other side, he has a shot. Keeper saves it. Who's going to stick it in at the back post? Yeah. It's going to be Raheem Sterling, unless he misses it, obviously. But but broadly speaking, so it's still, for me, it's still sort of his place to lose. Harry Kane's going to score the goals, and Saka's got the ability to do that as well. You just need someone functional on the other side. Yeah. So it could be Gordon, could be Rashford.
So you've got Toney high. Yeah.
I'm surprised he's so low on yours.
I actually don't think he should go. I just don't think his form's been that good. I don't think
Watkins is better.
Well, he hasn't missed half the season since coming back. Yeah, he started well. Form hasn't been great, but I just think he's one of them that might have a chip on his shoulder. Those sorts of players at tournaments can be a difference maker. 6
players out of the top 10 goal scorers in the Premier League. 6 players are English.
Yeah.
So there are other do you think he's better than
Kane, Watkins, and then who?
Solanke's scoring lots of goals. I wouldn't take Solanke.
But I think Toney's a bit different to them.
So you think Watkins should go as well as Toney? It's not Watkins or Toney.
Yeah, I would rather more wingers. I'd rather those two.
I think a good mix. I think Toney's got a good mix between being the focal point and being able to bring in the wingers. And England have got an abundance of wingers we just went through that can score goals.
Yeah, how many centre forwards, how many specialist centre forwards do you need is going to be the ultimate question on this. Gone are the days of these 2-man partnerships. Oh no, exactly. Yeah. And I even Toney, a year or whatever ago, you'd have been, definitely. Yeah, but Ollie Watkins has been so good.
Can't be ignored.
So he's not going to go in place of Ivan Toney. If you were just taking it for the comfort factor of having as many goal-scoring lads as possible, then you would. But there's always a world where you could put Foden in a false 9 or something.
There's lots.
Sterling or whatever.
We go back to Southgate, because I was going to say that, but then will Southgate ever do that?
Yeah. He's not going to play Toney if he goes to England.
Solanke thing's interesting, though, because if he wants it depends what Harry Kane is going to play. Is it going to be Harry Kane who's just the tip of the spear who scores the goals, or is the one that Southgate's used for England where he needs to things together? Because Solanke is the closest to that. Actually, in terms of someone who'll drop deep, isn't just a traditional number 9 on the shoulder. He can do it, but he likes to pull off.
Surely
into
Kane,
10.
though, this tournament,
traditional
with the player that Bellingham is playing in that kind of hybrid forward midfield position. Surely that just means that Kane has no other responsibilities, doesn't it? With Rice and Bellingham behind him, surely
has to be. I don't that midfield free, perfect behind Kane. He doesn't need to work too hard.
Freed from winning free kicks, 30 yards from goals,
taking them himself. This has been good. Do you know what? To put you all on the spot, if you have to name one player that is going to make it from this wildcard list, Turkish, putting you on the spot, who's your one?
Cole Palmer.
Paul?
Yeah, same. I can't understand how he's that good at football, and but he's amazing.
Annoying,
he's amazing. So it stands to reason that you chuck him in with England and he'll just score a penalty or score a goal.
Yeah,
or something.
Absolutely pains me to say it because he's wearing the wrong colour blue and he should have been at City still. But Cole Palmer,
yeah, I mean he has been brilliant. I'm going to stick with Mainoo. I just think Palmer has been amazing.
I will say the biggest opportunity for impact is with Anthony Gordon. Cole Palmer might not even get the chance to make an impact, but I think Gordon will have the biggest chance.
For that exact logic is why I'm sticking with my shout for Kobbie Mainoo. I just think that there is a hole in the squad that Kobbie Mainoo perfectly fills. There we go. Thank you so much for watching this video. Will you do us a favour? Comment below. Let us know your player. What player do you think makes it off of this short list in terms of going and taking the tournament by storm? Thank you so much for watching. We'll all be in the comments the second this video goes live, so make sure that you let us know what's going on, and we'll see you all on the next video. In a bit. Thanks again for watching. If you want to see us rank the top 5 teams in Premier League history, click the link that's on screen now.